Hello and welcome to the Karina Aster Astrology and Alchemy community. I'm Karina Aster, so good to have you. Today is November 1st, and welcome back to the weekly weather. So I want to talk about the astrology from both the Chinese astrology and the Sidereal astrology today. And I'm going to be sharing my screen as well because yeah, we have a lot going on, and I'm calling this a very emotionally heightened week. I know that that doesn't sound super pleasant, but emotions are something that we all deal with, and we can learn to navigate them with being less reactive and also like getting into our feelings and actually feeling them and yeah, again, just exploring and being open-minded. And, there's a lot of opportunity for growth this week through all of this because we have a lot of tension. We have a lot of squares in opposition, as well as the full moon and other aspects that I'll be getting into in the Chinese astrology. But so yeah, it may sound a little bit hard, but honestly, if we didn't have weeks and days like some of these can be, and it's going to be different for each one of us because it just really depends on what animals you have in your chart. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to fix my shirt. um, Whether or not, this is really going to impact you in a more positive way or not. And again, we are still in the month of the dog, even though are on into the 1st of November. Again, it's November 1st, and I am in Boise, Idaho Mountain Time, so just adjust accordingly. But yeah, the Chinese astrology will switch over at the very end of this week. On November 7th, we will be going into the pig energy, the pig month, excuse me, of November. So it doesn't ever change until that full weekend. So we are, yeah, again, still under the influence of the young fire dog. And so if you have the horse or the tiger in your chart, this should be a good month for you. This is definitely also a month that, again, that we've been noticing since that second week of October, where this is giving us a little bit of hints and clues as to what we will be feeling and noticing in the coming year of 2026. So, um, again, if things have not been as positive for you, you don't have to get too concerned and hung up on those things being a part of your 2026 is just, again, just noticing the changes or some of the different things that are happening and, yeah, and look into the good things to lean into. And yeah, so let me begin by saying, well, I have already been beginning, but let me jump into saying that also we are in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. And the retrograde will actually take place on November 10th. So we have already been in the shadow for a few days or so. Actually, yeah, at least over a few days. But anyway, we may be already noticing a little bit of conflicting communication things coming up, and or there could be some things where people might be missing some things. So just be patient. Don't expect that people are actually getting your messages. If they're not responding, they may not get them. So always double check that, and we should always double check that always instead of making assumptions, right? But just know that, yeah, definitely, communication can get a little bit lost and things can get a little bit, um, yeah, out in the weeds, a little hairy during these times. That is something for us to be aware of. And the main reason that I'm calling this a heightened emotional week is that we have a Grand Water Trine. And so there's some very positive aspects to this Grand Water Trine. And in fact, we not only have this Grand Water Trine, but we also have a kite going on here on November 1st. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. And it's kind of exciting because this is again a Grand Water Trine. So we've got Neptune and Pisces, which has been there for a long time. And we now have Mars and Mercury in Scorpio trining that Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, and then also that trine is with Jupiter in Cancer. So we have the Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer mix of emotional energy that's really helping us to go deep. And we just had Samhain, we had the All Hallows Eve, Halloween, Dia de los Muertes, all of these things, however you celebrate, or even if you don't, this is a time when the energies, the veils are thin. And so I'm bringing that up because this is a heightened intuitive time. Our intuition is heightened when we have a Grand Water Trine. And so you may be just noticing a lot more things and just be aware of these things that are coming up and know that you can trust yourself. And you may be getting visits from ancestors or past anyone that's passed over that you love, that, maybe it's a pet, or I've already been hearing about that. So that's always sweet and lovely. And that's something that we can also call in. And even if you didn't already celebrate something for your ancestors, it's not too late to do that. I'm wanting to do more of something with that still this coming week to honor them. And, you can always invite in a dream. Yeah, there's a lot of this Piscean energy, right? We've had Saturn and Neptune in Pisces for quite some time, and it's going to continue for quite some time. But yeah, this is part of this Grand Water Trine. So again, just leading into this beautiful Piscean energy. We now have, as of today, Chiron in Pisces too at 29 degrees. This is really a time for some deep healing of some kind. There is this opposition of Chiron to Venus, so there is a healing in relationships, and maybe more in a love relationship, but it could also be possibly in family or friendships, but it may more likely be our closest loved one. This could also be a healing in terms of recognizing something in to do with our values. There could be some really deep healing of recognizing like an inner need that wasn't getting met, and that was why we weren't feeling valued, or why we weren't valuing ourselves enough, or why we have been attracting something that is not basically. So if we're not feeling like we're worthy or getting the thing that we're needing. Okay, so I'm kind of getting a little bit out in the weeds here, but hopefully you're following me there. And I do coaching to help people through this, to figure out, what are their needs, what are their values, and to figure out, some of these underlying emotions, and what we can lean into through our astrology, and also with the 5 elements, and how to bring ourselves into balance through lifestyle and nutritional guidance through the Chinese medicine as well. So this is something I'm very passionate about and I love to share. So yeah, there is definitely going to be some of this energy coming up this week that we'll be needing to figure out and heal. And yeah, as well as we might be having, we've got, actually, let me stick to the kite before I start going out to more things. So there's also this, again, is Pluto is a big part of this, okay? And Pluto is the kind of, well, it's both Pluto and Jupiter. So we've got, a transformation coming in with healing. There is, a big opportunity with healing. And then also there is, something again, yeah, that is going to be transforming very hugely with this Pluto aspect. There's so many aspects of healing right now, and healing our wounds, whether we're talking about with Pluto or with Chiron, and or with this square with Jupiter to Venus, and this square with Jupiter to Chiron. So there's various aspects that we have going on. And yeah, it's just going to take a lot of leaning into things that may be uncomfortable. I had a really big breakthrough last night. Even though I had a tough day yesterday, it was like I recognized something in myself, and it was helpful for me to notice, okay, this is why I've struggled so much with this particular thing with other people. And then, it just gave me a lot of peace and compassion for myself. Anyway, yeah, I hope that you can find, these ways to also find that compassion for yourself. This is, definitely with this Grand Water Trine, we're going to be able to really lean into this ability to heal. And there is going to be an aspect of surrender with this water. Again, there could be a lot of memories coming up. This did involve some memories coming up for me as well from the past of Oh yeah, maybe it's past woundings, most likely, right? Things from childhood even or early adulthood, and or maybe something recent, or yeah, some ancestral things. So just being aware of these different energies is going to be really important right now. And I also do ancestral energy clearing. So if that's something that calls to you, I will put a link for more information on that below. And yeah, so we do also have this opposition with Uranus to Mercury and Mars, which are also Mercury and Mars are conjunct in Scorpio. So there is definitely still quite a bit of Scorpio energy going on right now. We do really have this desire with Mercury in Scorpio to dive deep, to really go into the mystery, to really figure out what it is that is driving us, or to figure out the bigger questions of why and how come and what to do next. And then, yeah, again, just wanting to dive into those mysteries with that action with Mars being here. And just being aware, though, that, we can get a little stingy with Mars and Scorpio. I mean, it's in its home rulership, and so it's happy here. And, Mars can also be obviously a volatile energy. And with all this emotional energy, with the full moon coming soon, with this opposition to Uranus, there is unexpected events. And I think in the collective, we may see some very surprising things that could be very warlike, more in communications areas, perhaps more in the media. But again, yeah, I'm praying and hoping for the best. I don't want to project anything negative out in the world. So there's just unexpected things that are going to be seen. And, but with this beautiful trine to Neptune and Saturn, I think that's going to help ease any of that negative energy from happening. And because of this trine to from Mercury to Jupiter as well, it's also going to really ease, that warring, conflicting energy of Mars. So that will really help mellow that out. So yeah, I think we're going to be okay. Obviously, we're still going through some really tough things in the world right now. And again, as I said, we are approaching the full moon. Today, the moon is in Aquarius, and I do want to jump into more of the weekly weather, but I just wanted to give an overview of these energies. And let's see, I think there was just one more thing that I wanted to say, though, before I jump into the day by day, is that since October 28th, Chiron and Venus have been in this opposition. So this has been happening already for, what has it been, like 4 days now? So yeah, again, I know I already brought this up, but this is could be some difficulty in relation to also finances. I know it's talking about relationships, but there's could be a desire between this tug and pull between like what we want to do and what we have to do with our responsibilities as well. So I definitely was feeling that tug of war feeling today, in fact. So, and yeah, so I want to go ahead and jump into, I've got this already on November 1st. So this is the chart for November 1st. The moon is in Aquarius today. And so we are thinking about the community. We're thinking about how to help people. We're in our head a lot. And we are maybe even thinking about scientific things, wanting to be a little bit more, pragmatic. Also, this is a young wood dog day. And so, with the young wood dog energy, we are feeling very much like being a protector about, again, with the Aquarius energy, like doing something to help the world. I know I already was seeing, like, first thing on Facebook this morning, somebody posting something on how to help the people that are, unemployed right now that work for the government. So, yeah, really, we're wanting to, help solve problems, but also there's definitely some stubborn energy today, and I've definitely already seen this and even felt it within myself. Just kind of, I think people are just kind of wanting to be a little bit controlling with this dog energy of the day and the dog energy of the month. The dog can want to be a herding animal, and it can be have a desire to just kind of be real barky and annoying, right? Sometimes. And so it's like we all just need to back off and know that we all need to do our own thing. And, everybody will do what they need to do all in right timing. And I'm saying this for myself too, because again, I have just been like, okay, I want to help, and then, everybody's on their own timeline and everybody has their own desires. And so just keeping that in mind is important. So let's move to November 2nd. And now the moon has moved into Pisces. So we will be feeling a little bit more emotional, possibly. And again, we have this beautiful Grand Trine. At Water Trine, we have the beautiful Kite energy. So again, this is going to be really strong today. So again, just a little bit of that heightened emotional energy, but also this is an opportunity for us to lean into compassion and to lean into the idealism of the Pisces, but let's try not to go into escapism. It may be a little bit of a desire to do that with all of this watery energy. We may want to escape when the moon goes into Pisces. We may even feel a little bit down, a little depressed. So just know that this too shall pass. And as I was talking about in a reel that I did today, that we need to lean into asking for support and help. And it can be really challenging. And I'm going to share my story really quick because I was sick this last week. I actually got that. I told you guys all in my last video that I had this rash. Well, I thought it was my autoimmune that got flared up in Mexico, but I actually got bit by a spider and then it got infected. I don't know how because I was putting tea tree oil on it that I had while I was there. So and then I ended up being on antibiotics because of my dental work. So as soon as I went off the antibiotics, unfortunately, the skin thing got worse, and I just was like, oh my gosh, my autoimmune's totally out of control. This is scary. And then it got so bad, I realized, okay, what is this? And I did research, and it turned out I had cellulitis. Look it up if you want. It's pretty disturbing, the pictures, and it was just as ugly and disturbing on myself. So I will not show pictures to you guys. I will spare you that, but I will just say that it was pretty painful in my hand and my ankle, and it was even like so swollen, excuse me, that I was having a hard time standing. And so I couldn't cook for myself really. By the end of the day, I needed to like sit and like rest and like put my feet up, and it got really bad, and then I got in to see the doctor, of course, and got back on antibiotics. And I've been on day 4 now, so I'm healing, and I appreciate your prayers if you already know the story. But anyway, I'm saying this because I also had a friend that had said, hey, let me know if I can help out in any way. And I said, okay. Well, your prayers are so appreciated and thank you so much. And then, she had said that and I was like, man, I really wish somebody would cook for me. And then I was like, she's a really good cook and I could ask her for some soup or, if she has time or if she, can make some. And if she can't, no expectations at all. So it was really hard for me, but I said, I hate to ask this, but it's really hard for me to stand and do my chopping and cooking right now. And I don't know if you have any soup or anything you want to share, but I would be so grateful. And sure enough, she did. I drove over and got it. She was really busy, but it was such a blessing that, I could drive and I um, was so grateful. It was so nourishing and delicious. And I'm so glad I asked. And it was really hard. Anyway, I just got emotional, but yeah, and it's like, I talk about conscious communication on here all the time, but even though I know these things, it's like it can still be hard for me. It's hard for all of us to sometimes in our times of vulnerability to reach out and ask for help. So um apparently I needed to cry to yeah, share this message with you all. So um I know it's important for all of us, and again, it's another healing opportunity that Chiron's bringing to us and that Pluto is bringing to us. So these can be really beautiful things because you know what? I'm going to ask somebody again for help. Maybe not that same person. I don't want to lean on her every second, but what a blessing, And if I hadn't asked, I could have found a can of soup, but would have that have been as delicious or nourishing? Absolutely not. And like, what an opportunity for her to give as well as for me to receive, and then share this with you. So anyway, I'm very emotional. Moving on. So we already talked about how the moon is in Pisces. And so apparently I'm already feeling it. I seem to already feel the energy of the following day or the coming days, like the day before. But as I mentioned before, we are approaching a full moon. It isn't until the 5th, but we may be already feeling it. I think we are a little bit. So just be gentle with yourself. And as I already said in my reel today too, get out, do your earthing. Also eat your root vegetables. Those are really grounding. We must be doing this. Even if the weather is terrible, try to get out in your raincoat or your big warm coat and your hat and your scarf and your gloves and get a hand on a tree. Take your glove off. Put 30 seconds on a tree, switch hands, you got to get out there and, still work on that earthing during this time. It's going to be really important. So on on Sunday, not only will the moon be in Pisces, but it's a Yinwood pig day. And it's a remove day. This is a really good day to solve a problem. The Yinwood energy is going to help us to be really creative. So you can also get into some artwork and do something really fun and creative. And also, the pig energy likes to indulge a little bit. So it's okay. It's a Sunday. If you're able to and you don't have to work and you can relax, you know, I would lean into that. And also, it is a day to remove something, and this could be really helpful in removing something that's a bad habit or something that is not helping you. So, this could be a time to cleanse. If you are interested in joining my parasite cleanse, there's still time between now and November 6th to join. I would love to support you in the group. And so, yeah, this is a beautiful energy. And then on November 3rd, we are still going to have the moon in Pisces. So, again, same compassionate, beautiful, dreamy energy. Again, be gentle with yourself because this is going to be a really fiery day and it's a multiplier day in the Chinese astrology. So, what does that mean? It means that you may have a tendency this will be on Monday, to be you're going to have to be really careful with your mindset, okay? Because if you go into a negative space, it's going to go badly because there is a lot of fire. It's a yang fire rat day and a yang fire uh dog month, and so we've got triple fire going on. And I mean, the rat gets along okay with the dog. They're not best friends, but they're not enemies. But this is a multiplier day. So again, could be a good day to socialize though, even though with the Pisces energy, we may not feel like it as much, but then again, with the Yang fire energy, hopefully we do. And I think we will a little bit more. And it's a good time to really, really, again, cross your T's, dot your I's, really be meticulous like the rat likes to be, and, work together. Rats love teamwork. So asking for help, okay? If you're needing help, if you're struggling, reach out. Again, use all your mindset tools. This too shall pass. If you're struggling, work on an affirmation or a mantra. My affirmation today is something like, the world is amazing. I don't know. That was not exactly it. I'm forgetting what it is now, but like it's just was the most gorgeous, beautiful day, like the most amazing fall day ever. I mean, November 1st, warmest day in history in Boise that I'm aware of. Anyway, that I'm remembering, but so lovely. So, again, try to come up with an affirmation, write in your journal if you're struggling, do the things that are going to help you to feel better. All right, November 4th, the moon is moving into Aries. We're in that energy of almost the full moon. And with the Aries energy now, we're really going to be gearing up to really coming to this culminating energy of, okay, what was that seedling that we planted a couple weeks ago at the new moon, or, a little bit after that new moon? What have you been building in your life? Really thinking of how you are bringing that forth into the world. And maybe this is something that's not going to happen for weeks or months or years, and that's okay because all good things take time, right? But also, it is a young Earth Tiger Day. The tiger and the dog are friends, so this is a lovely energy. And the young fire feeds the earth, the in earth of the young earth. So we do have some really beautiful energy on this day, and it's a stable day. It's a good day to start any new activity. You can really bring something forth, something positive into the world and get some good results. But yeah, it could be a little fiery. And let's see, if you are a dragon, just be a little bit cautious, or if you have dragon in your chart, there could be something that could be a little bit challenging in this dog month. This is our last yeah, so the dragon just might need to just lay low a tiny bit with just all this energy. It's just a little bit of heightened energy. So again, just being aware. But yeah, we're gonna move now to November 6th. The moon will be in Taurus. And oops, I haven't been switching my, that's okay. You didn't really need to see the screen. All right, moving along here. There's a lot of these things are still continuing. We still have our Grand Trine. The kite is not quite there anymore, but yeah. Now on November 6th, the moon has moved into Taurus. So beautiful earthy energy. We may want to cook with a friend. This is a Thursday. We're also going to be in a desire to maybe be in a thinking mood. So, maybe reading a book could be another nice thing to do, or maybe just something intellectual with the family. The yin earth energy is going to be, I'm talking about for our evenings, of course, during the day. We'll have our work activities if we work, but the yin earth is a very nurturing energy. So we're going to want to nurture our friends, our family. And it's a good day to also start something, even though it's the day after the full moon. It will be also, yeah, just still a powerful day. And sorry, I think I forgot to say that November 5th, when I was talking about it a few minutes ago, is the full moon. Okay, I see what happened. I actually skipped November 4th. So sorry, we're going to go back to November 4th really quick. So I will show my screen again with that energy. I skipped from November 3rd to the 5th. Okay, so on November 4th, that was a Tuesday. So that is Tuesday. That is when the moon first goes into Aries. There we go. Sorry about that. So a couple of days or the day before, excuse me, that full moon. Yes. So it is a yin fire ox day. So with that energy, what we are feeling and seeing is that we're going to be wanting to work really hard. We're going to also be wanting to work really hard to inspire other people and to bring spiritual understanding and to bring balance into the world. And so it's going to be a really lovely day to also maybe settle something that has been troubling you. Although, Aries energy can get a little feisty. So, and Ox energy is also a little bit of a stubborn energy, along with the month of the dog. So all Aries, ox, and dog all have some very stubbornness to them. So don't expect to settle something that's really difficult on this day. But if it's just an easier thing that you want to bring into balance, then it is a balanced day. Or it could be a good day to just begin something new on a day like today, especially with that Aries. New energy, new beginning energy that Aries likes to bring into the world. Okay, so then we had the November 5th. Again, that is the day of the full moon, again in Aries, and with that young Earth Tiger day that I already talked about. So then we jumped to the November 6th, where the moon was in Taurus, the yin Earth Rabbit day. Again, another really powerful day, even if it is the day after that full moon, still a little bit more grounded for sure, and feeling a little community oriented. I think both with the full moon and the day after might just feel sociable. Yeah, which is kind of lovely. So the yin fire pig month will begin on November 7th. So we're finally at the end of the week on Friday. This is a day of, hang on one moment. It is where the moon is in Taurus, as you can see here. And also, it is a young metal dragon day. So this is a really great day to have a big vision, to really look at the bigger picture and to see things from above, really get that hawk and dragon's eye view up above, right? Flying up above. And then also like coming to a plan for something that you want to make better in the world, or solving a problem in your own life. Yeah, really finding some way to create justice in the world, or again, in something that is meaningful to you. And again, with that moon in Taurus, where you should be feeling very grounded, very much like nurturing our bodies, or with good food, with exercise, with movement, maybe it's yoga, do something really lovely for yourself on today. As we move to November 8th, actually, that is when I'm going to be doing my next video. So I am going to stop there, but before I totally close out, I want to say two things. First of all, I do Chinese astrology readings, and so if you want to know what animals are in your chart, I do have a Chinese astrology reading and a full reading available. So check the link for that below. And also, yes, just stay tuned because I'm going to come back and talk a little bit more in a separate video on the new moon, or excuse me, full moon energy. I know I just did talk about it, but I jumped around a tiny bit. And then also I did talk a tiny bit about this yin fire pig month, but I want to go into that a little bit more. So I will have a video in a couple of days. So stay tuned for that just to find out a little bit more on this weekly weather. But that's it for now. Again, thank you so much for being here. And please subscribe. Please share this with a friend. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how you are feeling with these energies, what you're noticing. And I'm going to be working on putting the timestamps in the future. So anyway, if I haven't done that yet, thank you for your patience. I do have those classes coming up of conscious communication, of also the parasite cleanse that I mentioned here. And I do have a women's empowerment circle. All of those things, I will be getting the dates and the information below as well. So check those out if you would like, if you'd like to learn more, if you want to learn more about the ancestral energy clearings that I do as well. So again, thank you so much and have a beautiful week. Stay grounded. And yeah, again, I think it's going to be really helpful to share this with people around you because as we just heard, there's a lot of heightened emotions, but I know you're going to do great. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to be amazing. And thank you again. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.